Hello and welcome to Narrative Forge Productions. I'm Liam and I'm going to be your host. And today I wanted to talk about something that was really important to me in my writing journey. So I wanted to get started with a story that I'd like to share with you first about kind of how I got into writing and why this advice is relevant to you. So when I started writing, I was a big reader. Unfortunately, I'm not as much of a reader as I was back then. Maybe because my efforts are spread across writing as well. But anyways, when I was younger, I used to be really into books. And I still am today, but a lot more so back then. And some of my favorite books, they changed from year to year. But some of my favorite books at one point were Harry Potter and The Hunger Games. And so I read Harry Potter first. And I want to talk about how reading can influence the way you write. So when I read Harry Potter, I was sort of starting to get into writing, and I was very new to writing, and I hadn't really developed my own style or anything like that. And that is totally fine if you're a beginning writer. You don't have to have your style or prose set out yet. You don't have to have that. That's going to be developed over time. And so my writing, in the first couple of books I wrote, my writing was very much like Harry Potter, in the same kind of. It was written in the same way, in the same kind of way J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter, and that was fine because it helped me on developing my own style, developing my own way of writing, and it is something really beneficial. And so you don't have to wait to start writing. If you don't have your own style yet, if you think you're sort of imitating another author, that is fine. Just start writing and your own style will develop. Same as when I read The Hunger Games. I was very much inspired by that, and so I wanted to write a book for the first time from the perspective of first person perspective. And I don't think I'd done that before. And again, my story began to sound like The Hunger Games, not in terms of story, like plot, but in terms of writing style. And again, that's fine. I never released those, of course, but partly also because of the fact that I wrote them when I was 12 or something like that. But it's totally fine to, when you start out writing especially, to sound like your favorite authors when you write. And I even sometimes do this to this day, and of course I don't release the ones that sound plagiaristic, but for example, I wrote a short story recently after beginning to read the Iliad, which I'm still working on, and my writing sounded very, of course nowhere near as good, but it sounded very much like Homer's style of writing, and that really, really benefited my writing actually, because once I got past the point where I was sounding like something taken out of the Iliad, of course I'm not saying my writing is as good as the Iliad, just written in the style of it. Once I got past the point of sounding like something taken from it in that style, I noticed that my writing was a lot better because of it, because I managed to incorporate the things I learned from reading the Iliad in my own style of writing. So when you get started writing, you don't have to worry about developing your style from the start. That's going to happen over time, whether or not you think about it. What is important is just that you write, and just write all the time. I'd recommend, if you have the time, as I imagine most people do, an hour a day. But even 10 minutes a day will still push you along the path towards reaching your writing goals. But I'd aim for an hour a day. 2 hours is more than an hour is, of course, not negative, unless it's impacting the rest of your life. But setting aside around an hour of time to write a day will get you along the way pretty quickly towards finding your own style in writing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It was a little bit of a shorter one. Comment below what you want me to talk about in terms of writing, because there are many things I want to talk about, especially for beginner writers, but it would really help me target specific points that I may not have thought of if you let me know what you'd like to hear in the next video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.